Hey guys, so today I'm making a video concerning the fandom. Now, I think I'm known for two things concerning Dragon Ball. Firstly, I tend to be friends with pretty much everybody, going around in a lot of circles over the years. All my friends know this, I'm a huge internet slut. Secondly, I, and this channel, pretty much only make informative content. I did do a few Q&A videos when I was on break, but generally I just make informative videos. I bring up those two because this video is likely going to be neither. As in, there will be no real information, and I likely won't be very nice. So, to give you that forewarning, let's begin. As much as I love the fandom in certain respects, there are some real bad actors in there, and sometimes I just want to complain. I remember I saw an image a couple of weeks ago saying something along the lines of, "If you're a fan of Dragon Ball, we're friends without introduction," and people were super surprised when I said, "Yeah, I'd love for that to be the case, but some of you guys are assholes," because that's not usually who I am. But I'll explain some of the bad actors in the fandom. I won't name any names. I'm going to just air some grievances and some frankly toxic trends the fandom is a part of. Starting with, you guessed it, elitists. Now, to the surprise of no one, let's start with the biggest perpetrators, which are sub-elitists, meaning people who are elitist about the subbed anime. Now, when I'm talking about sub-elitists, I don't mean people who like the sub. I like the sub. Nor do I mean people who prefer it or even watch it exclusively. I have a few friends like that who just watch the sub. When I say elitist, I mean someone who thinks you aren't a real fan unless you watch the sub only. Someone who hates the dub and they think their hatred should be everyone's primary concern. They wouldn't wipe their ass with John Bergmeyer's script. Special beam canon? More like special needs canon. Those kind of fucking miserable people. And you see these filthy casuals all the time. They make a little grouping of people on social media who have hate boners for the dub, like a little colony of bottom feeders. And what always happens, and I've seen this so many times, is they'll be shitting on names or like the names of techniques, or posting like 15-second dub clips in like a little disingenuous form of self-masturbation, and then eventually they get on the wrong side of an argument or discourse, and for once in their little lives, they don't have the majority of people on their side. And then what do? What these slimy little maggots do is that they go like, "Oh, hey, let's all like what we want to like. I've never seen such a sub-hating fandom before. There's a real problem with this community." And then they fake empathy for like 3 days. And then what they do is they go, "Oh, no, I don't have a problem with the English dub. I like the Kai dub." And they drag Kai out kicking and screaming and use it like a Gears of War body shield. They post more 15-second clips and go, "This is how you do it, see?" And their followers are like, "Wow, hey, I knew they were open-minded. Oh, look at that. Whoa, what a thing." And then all this repeats like every 3 months. And there's always two kinds of these guys. One are native English speakers that get so focused on purity, it's like finding an anime Wehrmacht. Or they're from Europe or Latin America and go like, "I'm Venezuelan, our dub is amazing, but your dub is shit. Better not look at what mistakes my dub made because there are none, of course. I bet you guys only like the funny dub because you grew up with it." Meanwhile, my dub that I grew up with is objectively amazing. It's like, geez. Like, someone who does this shit right is my good friend and the channel translator, Dave. He's Portuguese. He grew up with the Portuguese dub, he's seen the funny dub, and though he prefers the sub and would rather see it in the original form, he doesn't go around making other people feel shitty for what they enjoy. He just vibes. Be like Dave. And speaking of Kai, there have been plenty of Kai elitists that have popped up the past few years, and I've talked about them before because they sort of inspired me to make this channel because I'm like, someone's got to teach these kids. Though granted, they're less insufferable than the sub-elitists, at least a bit. Though let me be clear, there are also dub dude bros out there that make fun of the sub and shit on sub fans. I see them less, but they're out there. I morally object to them as well. But again, they aren't super active on combative social media. However, when they are, I halfway, kind of don't blame them sometimes after how the sub-elitists act. No wonder some of them want to shit on them back. Though again, I don't agree with that. If you don't like the sub, then let other people enjoy it at least. And let's not get into the hypocrisy of how dub versus sub debates play out. Like, fucking acting like Frieza being voiced by a woman is a crime, where Goku being voiced by a woman is the second coming of Christ, or even the opposite, where they can't stand Goku having a lady voice actor, but when Frieza is in his second or third forms, they still got Linda Young. Now, those are the biggest hypocrites, meaning like sub versus dub, but we got plenty. They're all over the place in the fandom. Like, what about recently when the GT haters are sucking Daima's dick when both stories are very much alike? Like, we got generational GT haters aghast when someone points out Daima is fairly similar after they got done praising it. Like, look, just because Toriyama passed away doesn't mean you gotta meet ride, alright? Like, just be honest, you know? Like, why don't you do what I do and appreciate Daima for what it is, and then grow introspective on why you didn't like GT, and make sure you don't simply like Daima because Toriyama's name is slapped on it. You know, like maybe GT has more to like than you thought, or maybe you just like Daima because you're biased. Now, again, like I'm not dissing Daima or GT or sub or dub, just like people are just hypocrites. They're hypocrites all the time. And let's not even get me started on shipping wars or what ships are valid and what aren't. It's just make-believe, right? It doesn't hurt anybody. You can ship Oolong with Shenron. I don't give a fuck. Now, you can dislike what you want as well, but like, don't make people feel bad for liking or disliking, you feel me? If I did that, Vegeta and Bulma shippers would airstrike my apartment building. Oh, and that reminds me. One final thing. Fucking Vegeta cultists. Not Vegeta fans. My friend Dave is a Vegeta fan, and to be honest, I quite love Vegeta as a villain, and he's got some cool moments in the later sagas too. I'm talking about people who really don't understand Vegeta and scream at the top of their lungs about how goated he is, and how when Goku went Super Saiyan 3, Vegeta should have done it from sheer spite, you know, like those kind of people. Or how Vegeta deserves a W or a win. Like, what series are you watching? Vegeta has plenty of W's. He's killed the most people in the series since its introduction. What do you mean? By the way, that's a rhetorical question, because I know what the fuck they mean. They want Vegeta to kill the final villain. Well, I'm sorry, but this ain't fan fiction. He's not the main character. I don't get bent out of shape as a Tien fan, or a future Gohan fan. My friend Clearin doesn't cry when Krillin doesn't beat the fuck out of Cell. Like, and this stems from a fundamental misunderstanding of who Vegeta is. People are really out there posting, boys like Goku, maturity is liking Vegeta. Like, bro, did you actually watch the series? Although I will say, while rabid Vegeta fans are the biggest culprits, there's plenty of people who ride or die for Goku so hard it gives Dragon Ball fans a bad name. Like, people really just can't be chill about anything, really. Like, it's crazy. And also the fandom fights with, like, One Piece and shit. Like, people really, like, okay, partially it's the One Piece fandom's fault, but it's also partially the Dragon Ball fandom's fault. You know, they fight each other all the time, at least on the social media that I see. And it's weird, like, can't they just, like, either appreciate or just not talk about it, right? Anyway, that's all I want to complain about today. I hope I didn't offend anybody. I just got decades of annoyance stored up in me, felt like airing some of it out, you know, and I asked you guys and you said you wanted to hear me out, so here it is. Alright guys, thanks for sitting through the rant if you did. I got a few more Dragon Ball info videos coming soon. Peace.